Hi everybody, this is Connie from Connie's Nails and Creative Creations. This is a beautiful vignette that I have put together. I've been working on it for a couple of weeks. I had to take a break because I went to Utah and then I had my grandchildren here. So let's get right into it. For the 3-tier tray, I am working right now taking apart a frame that I had to take out the backing and everything so that I could paint the frame up. Now with that frame, of course I'm struggling right there, but I just painted it white, and it's acrylic paint from Blinks. I ordered through them. And then right here I'm working on, I have 3 candlesticks and I've painted them white, and then I'm dry brushing burnt umber onto them, as well as I have a wooden base that this is going to sit on, and I painted it with white paint as well, and this is acrylic paint, and then I dry brushed the burnt umber on that as well. So as you can see, I've got a lot of little things that I'm going to do. Now, none of this stuff did I go out and purchase. Everything I had already here at my house. It was important for me to use up a lot of my stash. I have tons and tons of different stuff. So, and as you can see right there, I'm dry brushing the burnt umber onto the frame. And then this is the wooden plaque that's going to be on the top layer of the 3-tier tray, and I've painted it 2 coats. Everything got 2 coats of white paint, and then I'm dry brushing the burnt umber onto that as well. Now this that I've got in front of me, I've already painted it with 2 coats. It is Dollar Tree's plastic serving tray. I bought these a few years ago, and I just have them sitting. I have like 5 of them. So I went ahead and put 2 coats of white, and then I dry brushed the burnt umber on that. Then everything got a coat of Mod Podge on everything, because acrylic paint is great, but if you don't seal it, you're going to have chipping, cracking, rubbing off, or whatever the issue could be. So now that is a piece of cardboard that I used for a little bit more stability. That plastic tray is extremely cheap plastic, and it will cracks and breaks easy. So I just painted this just a muddy burnt umber and white, just so that it would just be underneath, between the base and the tray, so that it has strength. And here I am putting the second coat on that little tiny plaque, and there I am working on the second coat for the frame, so that I can dry brush it as well. I think I've got my segments a little bit backwards, but that's what I'm doing right there. As I had said in my introduction, I've been crafting for over 35 years. I'm also a painter. I paint acrylics, oils. I also paint nails. I use magnifying glasses, and I paint little tiny pictures on nails. Now this is a little terracotta watering can I've had for years and years and years, and I just decided I was going to paint it white, and it takes 2 coats, and then I dry brush the elephant gray on this one. I wanted a little bit different. I didn't want it to be exactly like the others. In the end, I ended up putting some greenery and some sunflowers in this, on this tier tray. Now, once I get done with this, then if you can see on the right of my hand, you can see there is this piece of vellum. It's got pink roses on them and white stripes. I'm using that, and I'll show you in a moment where I'm going to put that. I have a terracotta pot with its base, and I'm going to make it into a little bird bath. And that vellum is going to be Mod Podged on the front of it. So, but yes, back to I paint. I teach painting as well, painting class. I do painting parties as well as I'm just a crafter, just an all-around crafter. That's what I do. Okay, so now, once that is done, then I will start on the terracotta pot and the tray, and I glued everything with hot glue and with E6000 so that you get the quick hold and the complete hold. And this I did white, 2 coats of white acrylic paint on them. Then I hooked that flower on the terracotta pot, and then I hooked them together, or I hooked them together first, and then I Mod Podged those. And as you can see where I'm dipping my paint in, that's an old plastic lid from back when you used to be able to, or I don't know if you still can, you can get 5 quarts of ice cream. Well, I've got 2 of those, and I've been using those as my palettes for over 30 years. I just hold on to it, and I just keep using it. Okay, now you can see the roses on the bird bath, and then that is a apple cookie jar that I've had, probably 15 years. It just doesn't fit in my kitchen with those colors. So after I dry brush the elephant gray onto that, and I'm going to do it also on the bird bath, then I will start painting the cookie jar. Now, I always put, if it's a slick surface, a glass surface or something like that, I always put a primer, or not maybe not a primer, a sealer, so that my paint will have something to stick to. So I don't have any spray acrylic, so I'm just using the Mod Podge on there. As you can see, I always pick up my extra paint and put it back in the bottle. I've always done that. Okay, so here I'm going to Mod Podge the apple, because the paint won't stick to it. And if I spray paint it, it could crack or run. It's kind of big, so I just Mod Podged it. That way it would make it where I could actually paint on it. Okay, so I'm just doing painting, Mod Podging that, and then after that I'm going to put 2 coats of white paint onto it, and then I'm going to dry brush burnt umber onto it as well. Now there's the lid. Now it has the stem and some leaves. After I get done painting it white, they just are so much of a contrast that I decide to dry brush white on them to tone the colors down so it doesn't stand out so much. But as you can see, that jar, it's a mason jar. I've had that mason jar as my water jar for my paintbrushes for probably as long as I have had that lid as for my palette. Now those, you can see, are succulents from the Dollar Tree. I got maybe last year, and I also Mod Podged those, and then I put 2 coats of white paint on the base, and then to the you can see the little birds. Those are actual napkin rings, but I'm going to use them as just little birds sitting in the water, the bird bath. And I Mod Podged those because they had a slick finish on them, so I Mod Podged those as well. And I put two coats of white, and then I dry brushed them with the burnt umber as well. And I painted the insides where the napkins go so that you could not see it it didn't just like show, hey, look, I'm here, because it's dark. It was dark brown. So now here I'm going to start painting the top of the apple. And it took the paint really well when it had Mod Podge on it, but I did have to do 2 coats. And there's the bottom. It's all finished, or at least the first coat. I'm going now putting the second coat on there, and there's the top. And now I'm dry brushing. I dry brushed the other, and now I'm putting the second coat of white. And I also Mod Podge over the top so that it is sealed. And then that's when I look at it and I decide that those 2 leaves in that stem is just way too bright. So I'm going to dry brush over the top of them with just white, just so that it tones down the colors. I want it more of a muted color. So I'll put that aside, and now I'm going to do the dry brushing of the napkin rings, the little birds, so they all kind of match together. And like I said, I use a Mod Podge over the top of all of this because it's going in my kitchen where there's, you know, dust and oils and food. You just don't know what could get on it. It's going to be sitting on the kitchen counter, so want to make sure that I can wipe them off and clean them if I need to. Okay, so now this is a little creamer and sugar set. I just Mod Podged them. I did the exact same things I did with the others. I put the Mod Podge on, 2 coats of white, then I dry brushed the burnt umber on top of those to get so that you couldn't see the design. It was really like from the 80s, like a little milk, looked like a milk ranch or something, cow ranch. So now I've got this, while those are drying, I've got this frame. I'm taking it apart, and I'm going to paint it white, 2 coats, and then I'm going to dry brush the burnt umber on it. I've got a beautiful print that Heidi Sombol, if you don't know her, Heidi Sombol DIY, she had a free printable, and I was able to download those, and I'm going to put them in this frame with white and green check scrapbooking paper behind it. I also took my watercolor coloring pencils, and I colored in it says fresh apples, organic, and so I painted, or I didn't paint, I colored those in. So there is the printable that I colored with my pencils on the apples, the leaves, and on orchard. And there's my scrapbooking paper. I'm just cutting it to size so that I can fit it in there. And then I'm going to use a glue stick and hook my printable on that paper, and I'm going to put the frame together. After I have to trim the white, a lot of the white off so that it looks centered on the paper. Thanks guys for stopping by. I totally enjoyed making this. Please subscribe, like the videos. I'm just new here and I can't wait to get into this. You guys have a nice weekend. Bye.